Welcome to Back to the Futures, the official podcast of the Futures League presented by 78 Sports. Matt Ferreira is with me. I am Owen Shadrick. Matt, it's the postseason. We made it. How you doing?
We did, in fact, make it. It's time for that exciting part of the season to see which team will go all the way. I mean, it's going to be some great baseball coming up, Owen.
Yeah, it's going to be unbelievable baseball. Your final standings update of the season. We are just going to give you the top four teams that made the playoffs. The number one seed is the reigning champions, the Norwich Sea Unicorns, going for back-to-back. The number two seed, it's Bullens Magic and the Westfield Starfires. Rounding out the playoffs are the New Britain Bees in third place and the Vermont Lake Monsters in fourth, which means we get a first-round matchup of our championship rematch from last year, and we get Westfield versus New Britain. Matt, it's going to be an unbelievable week.
It is, and Norwich not only looking for back-to-back titles, but they are back-to-back regular season champions, so hoping to repeat that success in the first round against the team they beat in the finals last year, and hopefully in the finals again this year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with. Coach Kevin Murphy is all over it, though. We have no doubt. For this playoff preview show, Matt and I are going to tell you all about the four teams in the postseason, what we expect from them in the playoffs, and we're even going to give our predictions. Matt, let's start with the number one seed and the reigning champions. What have you seen this season from the Norwich Sea Unicorns?
From the Norwich Sea Unicorns, we've seen many players stand out for them throughout the year, but my players to watch going into playoffs is Caden Dawsa from Yale. He's hitting .377 with 2 doubles, a triple, 9 RBIs, and 11 stolen bases, so expect him to get on base a bunch for the Sea Unicorns. On the pitching side, we have Hector Alejandro of UConn, who is 5-0 with a 2.16 ERA. In 33 innings pitched this year, he's only allowed 8 walks and 19 hits. Doesn't allow much traffic, so he's going to be one of their star aces for them. And they also have AJ Soldra, the All-Star Game MVP, in which he went 1 for 3 with a double and 2 RBIs.
Yeah, the Sea Unicorns have the star power. They've got the one seed. They're ready to go for the second straight year. Their opponent is the same opponent they had last year for the 2023 Championship Series, as we mentioned. It is those pesky Vermont Lake Monsters who do not go down without a fight. Matt, tell us about the Matt Fincher Vermont Lake Monsters.
They do not go down without a fight. They're looking for their 4th straight finals appearance in their 4 seasons in the league. In terms of players, Mark Quantrani from Cornell has been great for them. He leads their team in average, home runs, RBIs, and has a ton of hit by pitches. He's hitting .333 with 5 doubles, 4 homers, and 34 RBIs, and has only struck out 16 times in 40 games. He has been their star hitter. And on the pitching side, watch out for Wyatt Cameron. He can be a starter or a reliever. He has 10 games and 6 starts, 44 strikeouts in 32 innings with a 2.2 ERA. He gets a lot of swing and miss, along with most of their bullpen is a lot of swing and miss. So hopefully their pitching will be able to, for them, neutralize Norwich's offense.
That's going to be an exciting matchup that starts on release day, August 5th in the Rose City. Matt, before the season, we asked who your team to watch was, and you said the team out of Westfield, Massachusetts, those Westfield Starfires. Talk to us about our second seed.
Yeah, they have been outstanding this year, probably the best offense in the league. They have 8 players hitting over 500, headlined by Trey Cruz of Washington State. He's hitting .353 with 7 doubles, leads the league with 8 homers and 31 RBIs. He's been a tremendous bat in the middle of their lineup. But their pitching is no slouch either. Jake Jackham of Keene State is 5-1 with a 2.7 ERA. He's pitched 46 innings, so he's a workhorse, giving their bullpen a little bit of a break. And he doesn't walk many guys either, so it's tough at bats and trying to limit the amount of traffic that he puts on.
Yeah, those Starfires are bound for a little magic here in these playoffs. And they face a team that is no stranger to the playoffs and a coach in Matt Gedman who is no stranger to the playoffs. The New Britain Bees, Matt, tell us a little bit about our 3 seed.
They have been great as well this year. I mean, all these teams in the playoffs have, but their headline bat is John LaFleur of Holy Cross, hitting 280, 7 doubles, 2 triples, 1 homer, so he can get any type of extra base hit against you. 16 RBIs, and he also has 10 stolen bases, so even if he gets a single, he can stretch it into an extra base hit for the New Britain Bees. On the pitching side, Esteban Rivera III of Franklin Pierce. He's 3-1 with a 1.9 ERA. He's going to be their star pitcher. We will see at some point in the series, and that Westfield offense is going to have to find a way to hopefully not strike out against him because he has 39 strikeouts in 28 and a third innings pitched.
Yeah, just incredible stuff from the Bees all year. Matt, I want to go back to our first matchup between the Norwich Sea Unicorns and the Vermont Lake Monsters. Obviously, these teams have played great baseball all year, but with these great teams come strengths and weaknesses. Can you tell me what the strengths and weaknesses are of our 1 seed, the Norwich Sea Unicorns?
Their strength all year has been offense. Top down to this lineup has just been hitting. It didn't matter who is in the lineup, who's not, who is playing what position. They find ways and they play team baseball. They find ways to manufacture runs. In terms of weakness, for me, it's their power. Their top home run hitter only has 3 home runs. They do play in a graveyard of a stadium, but a little bit of power does go a long way, especially in playoffs and momentum shifts. And for Vermont, my strength for them is their bullpen swing and miss. They have Wyatt Cameron with 44 strikeouts and 32 and 2/3 innings pitched, Sean Gamble with 31 strikeouts and 20 innings pitched, and Xander Teeter with 25 strikeouts and 15 innings pitched. So Vermont is very good at striking out players, especially in big situations. Their weakness for me is pitching as well, sadly. They have 3 players at a 2.2 ERA or under, and their next lowest is a 3.6. So making sure that their top arms are able to continue at the level of play they've been at, but also having those bullpen guys and maybe some starters step up into some big roles could help them go a long way in these playoffs.
Yeah, pitching has been the key for the last who knows how many seasons in this league, and it's no different this year. Matt, you gave us great strengths and weaknesses for the first 2 teams. How about our other matchup, the Starfires versus the Bees? What about strengths and weaknesses from those 2 teams?
As I said for Westfield, 8 players hitting over 300. Their strength has to be offense. They've been one of the best lineups in the league this year, if not the best. Top to bottom, you have to be scared of the long ball, a double, anything that could cause them a momentum shift. And their whole team's bats could wake up at one time, and you just never know when it would be. My weakness for Westfield is their innings pitched by pitchers. They have 5 pitchers over 30 innings pitched: Jackham, Suter, Cantafee, Breton, and Churchill. We're going to have to see if their arms can hold up throughout the playoffs, and hopefully they'll be able to give Westfield some quality innings. On New Britain's side, my strength for them is their pitching depth. They have a plethora of pitching, and that's going to be how they will neutralize Westfield's offense if they go on to move on to the finals. My weakness for them is contact hitting, though. John LaFleur is atop of their batting average stats right now, hitting only 280. So if New Britain is going to have to find a way to neutralize Westfield's offense and get on base to beat Westfield.
These matchups are going to be incredible. We just laid it all out for you.
Hold on, we'll get right back to the Futures. But first, we want to share a message from our friends at 78 Sports. Do you have kids playing baseball or softball? We all know that practice time is limited, especially here in New England. Not to mention the cost of lessons and cage time can add up quickly. Save yourself some time and money by giving your kids what they need to work on their game at home. Our friends at 78 Sports can help you put together the perfect at-home training setup. Whether you want to start small with just a tee and hitting net, or are looking for a full cage setup with turf and a pitching machine, they have you covered. The team at 78 Sports has designed and installed hundreds of home and commercial sports training facilities, so let them help you plan the perfect setup for your space. Visit 78 Sports website at 78sports.com. That's SEVENTY, the number 8, sports.com. SEVENTY, the number 8, sports.com. Now back to your regular scheduled programming.
Before we return to Back to the Futures, we want to share a message from our friends at Zorian Bat Company. Rob Zorian started the company, Zorian Bat Company, in 2003, literally out of the trunk of his gold car in Davie, Florida. Within 2 years, he was selling the wood bat line to the MLB and continues to manufacture the highest grade wood bats for the Little League all the way up to the majors. Rob Zorian, founder and president of Zorian, says, I started this company in 2003 to service all baseball players in the United States and beyond, and after 19 years, our mission has not changed. We are excited to have the opportunity to work with the Futures League and wish all of the players and coaches a healthy and successful season ahead. For more information about Zorian, visit their website at zorianbats.com. Zorian, America's baseball brand. Now, back to the Futures. Matt, let's start with you, and then I'll give mine. What are your predictions for the playoffs?
For Norwich versus Vermont, I think Norwich is going to be too much to handle. They are one of the most, if not the most, all-around team right now. I think they take care of Vermont in the first round. On the other side, I think Westfield's offense is going to overpower New Britain's pitching, and I also think that New Britain's hitting is not going to be able to keep up with Westfield's offense. So I have Westfield over New Britain in the first round.
All right. Those first two are set. Talk to me about the final. That would mean you have Westfield versus Norwich.
I think it's going to be a close matchup through and through, but the name of the game is scoring more runs than the other team, and that's what Westfield's been doing all year. I'm riding with my pick from the beginning of the season of my team to watch. I think Westfield's offense is going to completely overpower these playoffs.
Well, those are some pretty good predictions because for the first two rounds, I have the exact same predictions. I'm going Norwich over Vermont and Westfield over New Britain. Me and Matt have many times this season coordinated on shirts and looks, but unfortunately, we're going to do that again. I got Bullens Magic over the Rose City. I've got Westfield winning it all in 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, these playoffs are going to be absolutely phenomenal. We are super excited to get started tonight in Westfield and in Norwich at 6:30. Obviously, you can watch it all on the FCBL network. It's playoff season, folks. We made it. We made it to the playoffs, and this week is going to be awesome. Matt, any final parting words before we depart into playoff madness?
It's going to be a crazy week. We're going to see many of these teams go through the highest of highs that they've had this season and the lowest of lows that they've had this season. The team, I know I picked Westfield, but the team that will win is the team that can stay the most even-keeled throughout these playoffs.
Yeah, having that even-keeled mentality is super important if these teams want to win it all, and we will see who has the strength to win the championship. Want to give a quick shout out as well to all of the Futures League interns who have done an incredible job this season. Guys, thank you for everything. The content is only going to get better here next week. The Parks Unknown crew has probably got something up their sleeve. Our other interns are working hard to get interviews, photos, videos. The Futures League is ready and locked and loaded as the playoffs are officially here. They start tonight, August 5th at 6:30 in Norwich and in Westfield. And the championship will be sometime this week. We'll see what happens with these games. I'm Owen Shatter. He is Matt Ferreira. And this has been another episode of Back to the Futures, the official podcast of the Futures League. Stay tuned for a little championship special next week. But for now, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Thanks, everybody, so much for tuning in. We will see everyone soon.